All right, so that concludes Marco. Enough notes about him. Let's move on to our next musician, Peter Matuchniak. Okay, Peter Matuchniak. He is a musician from the UK with Polish ancestry. His grandfather, I believe, was quite a musician. There was a photo of him with a double-necked acoustic guitar I saw before. Anyway, Peter started out in London, and in the early 1980s, 1982, he formed a band called Genesium, which was part of the neo-prog movement. Neo-prog with IQ, Palace, Marillion, all those guys. Well, Genesium recorded 2 cassettes, and after that, Peter and another member left and joined another existing band called Mach 1. Now, both Genesium and Mach 1, you can find Wikipedia articles about them, and there is also a video clip and some music of Genesium as well. Now, there's nothing available on CD for Genesium, although Peter has recently been thinking of maybe doing something about that. Mach 1, I believe, according to Wikipedia, there is a compilation album that was released on CD around 2001 or something like that. But, okay, let's see here. After that, it seems Peter left the UK and went off to spend some time in Bombay, India, where he continued writing and performing music. And I think that's also where he met his wife. But anyway, so from there on, he moved off to California, and that's where he's been now for the last quite a few years. And he was in a band called Evolve 4. It was Evolve 4, right? It is Evolve 4 in 2003. And then later on, he joined a band called Gecko Project. Here's their first album, Electric Forest, and this has a real late 70s prog sound to it. In fact, it sounds so authentic, you could believe that this is actually an album from 1978 or so that was re-released on CD. However, it is actually from, I think it's 2012, that's right. And the introduction to Peter was Particle Dance, the opening track from this album. Gecko Project did another album called Rhea of Titan. This is a concept album about a woman named Rhea who goes off into space to do asteroid mining, and a meteorite damages her ship and she is in distress and she gets rescued just near Titan. And then the rescue ship, I don't know, there's something, they have to make an emergency landing on Titan, and then they wait to be rescued, but no rescue comes for 24 years. And in the meantime, they have set up kind of a colony by rebuilding their ship. So that's a very interesting concept album, very interesting story, and we're going to hear a couple of examples from both these Gecko Project CDs right now, so please enjoy. Okay, Peter has also recorded 2 solo albums. The first one was on Uncover Me, and this is quite a variety of music. It really steps away from the Gecko Project sound. It has classic rock, progressive rock, it has jazz, it has quite a variety of styles, some folk as well, and it's a very enjoyable album, and I think you would never find such an album released on a major label. This is exactly an independent project where Peter has expressed himself, I think, exactly as he wanted. I listened to this album again recently, and it's really great. I'm very impressed with it. So I actually want to do a medley. First, let's just bring in his second album, Destiny. This one is also very good. There are some songs on here that they're very personal, almost whimsical, even quirky in some ways, but it's just great that he was able to do that. So now let's do a little medley of music from Peter's solo albums, Uncover Me and Destiny.
We fell apart, me and the lion heart. Falling ash, the rising sun. My career advisor paid me a visit one day, but all I can remember is her sounding this way. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's time to hit the books. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, there's one other thing to say about Peter Matuchniak, and that is his latest band project called Bomber Goggles, which just released their first album, Ireland. This is also a concept album, and I find it is very similar to Gecko Project. In fact, I almost think this could be a third album by Gecko Project. It includes Vance Gloucester, who plays keyboards on Gecko Project, and Steve Bonino, who does some of the vocals, I think, with Peter's solo work, as well as Jimmy Keegan on drums. Let me tell you, I got this little thing here from my order. Let's see here. It says, the Ireland album tells the story about a new continent constructed of plastic debris floating in our oceans. As the currents swirl, they bring the plastic together, something we are witnessing in our oceans today. The oceanic swirl is called the Gyre, and in our story, the new inhabitants named the floating island Ireland. So this tells the story about the people who are building a new civilization, I guess, on Ireland, and they begin to have almost a kind of telepathic ability. They can understand each other's thoughts or what they're intending to do soon. And as it turns out later on, 3 big countries, the United States, Russia, and China, all take some interest in Ireland. And one of them, I don't remember who exactly, but actually sends invading armies there. However, when the soldiers reach the shores of Ireland, they also become imbued with this sense of peace, harmony, and telepathic connection, I guess. So it's a very interesting story, and the music on here is great. So let's listen to a couple of tracks from this one now. Bomber Goggles, Ireland.
We're damned, yes we're damned in the land of plastic, and the ocean dies underneath the plastic. We're damned, yes we're damned in the land of plastic, and the ocean dies. We're damned, yes we're damned in the land of plastic, and the ocean dies.
Skating down.
So, our last man of music for today is Hamlet.
I've got a problem with survivor's guilt. I've got a problem dealing with it. I've got a problem with a heroin whore staring at me from the record in a vinyl store.
So how did I get to know about Hamlet? Well, one day, someone named Hamlet sent me a friend request on Facebook, and I checked out the profile and found that he was a musician. Now, if I accept friend requests from musicians, for me, that means that I might get to hear about some new band or artist, might hear some great music, feel inspired to buy a CD or two. However, for the other person, if they see my Facebook feed, they're probably going to see a lot of pictures of my garden or my pets. As it turns out, Hamlet has collaborated with Marco Ragni, Peter Matuchniak, Steph Fleming, whom we talked about in episode 2, and Hamlet has his own music project called Transport Arian, which he started in 2003. And between 2009 and 2017, he's released 5 studio albums as well as 1 live album. According to the Melodic Revolution Records website, Transport Arian's music is always changing from album to album. It's described as prog noir. And my one and only album that I have so far is 2017's Therianthrope. I bought this without having any idea what was going to be on it. I had only seen a clip of Hamlet performing with another band called Fabulae Dramatis, which is a very interesting avant-garde type metal group. So that's all I'd ever heard. So hearing this, I was going into it completely blind or deaf. Anyway, it is an album of poetry, of beauty, but also of dark moods, sometimes unusual combinations of instruments, all sounding very nice, just you normally wouldn't expect to find them put together on a popular music album. This is industrial, it's avant-garde, it's eclectic, it's progressive, it's poetic. Before we get into the music, I just want to show you this unique packaging here. This is the CD. It is limited to 100 only, and there is a rather unusual way to open it. It's handmade, and no, sorry, that's a birthday card. You have to, somewhere here, there's a... Hey, there we go. No, sorry, that's a map. Oh, here we go. You have to lift this flap here, and then it folds out like so. And then we have inside each of the songs a little picture here, some artwork, and the lyrics double-sided. And of course there's the disc itself, and then this lovely handmade fold-out CD case. Okay, anything else to say? Oh yes, that's right. Before we get into the music, Hamlet also recently joined a metal band called Bicephalus, which is a very interesting name. Sounds to me like it means two-headed. So I'm thinking if the band's name is Bicephalus, maybe their next album should be like Triceratops. Or if they want to have a little bit of fun, maybe like Monophallus. And then have a big picture of... Anyway, never mind. So yeah, here we are, Transport Arian from their album from last year, Therianthrope.
Poor things need a common interest, here or anywhere, in the land of anger and butties. My mind is feeble,
and the feather is held upon lips to define if breathing is still there. I dedicate every shout to the void that is born from love and from half-spelled word, in the sleep spoken to curves of this body.
So that brings us to the end of episode 3. I would like to extend deep gratitude towards musicians Steve Gresswell, Marco Ragni, Peter Matuchniak, and Hamlet for allowing me to use their music on the program, and especially to Steve, who allowed me to download some of his recent albums to listen to in order to prepare for the program, and also to Marco and Peter, who have sent me CDs as well. Very kind of you gentlemen. I muchly appreciate it. Okay, I think I would also like to say thanks to everybody in episode 2 who also gave me permission to use their music, and also to the family of Colin Tench who allowed me to use the music in episode 1. I am going to try to ask whomever I can about using music before I actually put the video together and upload it to YouTube. So many thanks to all those people. I think that wraps it up for today. Was there anything else I had to say on here? No. So, yeah, basically just everybody. You can find their music on maybe CD Baby, Melodic Revolution Records. You can find music on YouTube. I think also Reverb Nation. Some of them are also on Amazon. So, any of these people interest you, please take a look, see what you can find. If you like digital downloads, go for it. If you're like me and you want the hard copy on CD, go for it. Please check them out. And then next time we'll be back featuring another band plus a couple of others. So please watch out for episode 4. Thanks for watching today. Next time.